thank you so much for coming on the show.
I'm going to make sure that you guys have the best time.
That every situation that is coming my way is my karmic account, and my power lies in the present moment.
Wherever I went, people were talking about stress management.
Yes.
I don't require a holiday because every day is a holiday.
I feel connected to people everywhere in the world. I haven't once felt I'm meeting someone who's a stranger.
A lot of very interesting women encouraged me to run for office.
I have never felt that there was any difference between me playing a Ganesh stuti on my tabla or going and reciting the Quran.
My reputation was torn to shreds.
She's Hindu, I'm Catholic.
If you want to do something path-breaking, then you have to take the risk.
And obviously I don't talk to people.
Tell us more about that too.
ले चल तू अब साथ जागा है हौसला अपनों से ये ही मिटाता है फासला झुक जाए वो सर नहीं अब कोई डर भी डर नहीं मिल जाए जो रूबरू हम ढूंढ लेंगे निशान
Welcome to Chai with Manju. The focus of today's show is Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation, which is the largest grassroots NGO empowering rural India through education. Ekal has presence in over 91,000 villages with over 2.8 million children enrolled. And it's especially thrilling that over 50% of them are girls. So we are very honored today that we have very special two ladies from our New England community leaders, of course, Ranjani Saigal, who needs no introduction, but is the executive director of Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation, USA, and Dr. Kavita Navani, a physician, entrepreneur, the force behind EClinicalworks, as well as a big supporter of education in the community. So let's meet them. So guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Manju. What a pleasure.
So, Ranjani, of course, education is in your DNA. Your father was the dean of IIT Mumbai, and of course, you are a graduate of IIT Mumbai yourself. So, but why Ekal? Why Ekal particularly?
You brought it up exactly right. It was my father. Okay. My father, who became the dean at IIT, started out in a village school. He was in a school that had a single teacher.
Wow.
His parents were illiterate, and he felt blessed that he had this opportunity to study in this school. And that showed me the power of education, the power of such a model of education where a simple school taken to a village can bring out the potential in somebody like my father and take him from being a normal villager to becoming the dean at IIT. And more importantly, it's not what he became, but the impact he had on his students and the rest of the world. So I think Ekal particularly is attractive to me. Of course, my personal story, but I think it is a model that I have seen work. It takes people who could have no access to education, and it's a model that is customized, for the village. And we can take young children, and we have a lady, for example, Pinky, who went to the Olympics.
Wow.
And she could have never done that without that access to education. So it's a scalable, sustainable, beautiful model.
And what about you, Kavita?
So just like Ranjani, Ji is inspired by her father. My father also was a very well-educated man, asked us, supported us to be well-educated, and we did achieve that. looking at what Ekal Vidyalaya does and brings education to the villages, to the grassroots level of India. We have been supporting Ekal Vidyalaya, not just a group of individuals, but even as families, been supporting Ekal Vidyalaya for over 10 years, so they can continue in their mission of, getting boys and girls alike educated and self-sustained.
That's right. So Ranjani, as we mentioned, you've been the executive director since 2013, so big 6 years behind you now.
Yes.
Now there are so many great projects at Ekal. Are there any projects or programs which are close to your heart?
Of course. So Ekal started out with running these single teacher schools. But the focus of Ekal is really the holistic development of rural remote villages. And thus we have now 2 more verticals, one in health and one in skill development. But what we have realized that when the turn of the century happened, suddenly we have a new tool with us. And that is the internet. That is the tablet. That is the mobile phone and all of that. And thus we've believed that bringing those into the villages can transform radically the lives of the people. So I'm really pleased and honored that we were able to bring 2 important projects to the village. One is to bring a tablet to the school itself, so that the children not only get digitally literate, and today if you're not digitally literate, I would suggest that you're illiterate. So, but also you can give a deeper curriculum to the students. I spent all my life in education technology, so I think the value of that is very clear to me, and we are seeing the impact of that in the village. We are also doing another very important project, which is to take a mobile computer van into the villages and bring digital literacy to everybody in the village, because there are young men and women, particularly women, who have gone to school but don't know a computer. And one of the young ladies told me, दीदी ये जब आप ले आए हो, आपने हमें भविष्य के ओर हाथ लगाने का अवसर दिया है, and to touch the future. And so it's really close to my heart, and only because I think it has a dramatic potential to change, whether it's health, whether we do telemedicine, whether we do all those kinds of things, skill training, use other tools to provide deeper impact training. All of that can be done through that. So it's very, very close to my heart.
Absolutely. And there are certain programs which are very close to your heart as well, especially the farming initiative. So why don't you share with our audience some of those initiatives as well?
Sure. So we are a group of like-minded individuals that came together with the vision of empowering the farmers in India. So education, like Ranjani has reached out to the villages, provides for self-sustenance. What we are trying to do is to empower the farmers that make up the villages, and that will empower the villages as a whole. So what we're trying to do is to provide equipment which will be solar powered. To provide the equipment, it'll be solar powered. They'll be able to do their farming. They will have a good harvest of grains and vegetables. And then we are going to provide them with solar powered cold storage, so that they can store their grains, store their vegetables, and sell them at the correct time, rather than trying to get 1/10 of the price of what they would have gotten. So when they survive, the villages survive, India grows.
And
so that's our vision.
And you're going to be collaborating with some of the Ekal infrastructure as well, right?
Right. So we have come up with an event on September 28th at Hopkinton Middle School. It's called Sankalp. And we have put in the funds together, but whatever we get out of it is to raise money to sponsor 250 schools for Ekal.
Wonderful.
So just imagine that power, right? Each school has 30 children. So what an amazing thing.
I think Ekal is one organization. I think they have an amazing, I think those intentions are so pure that they really bring the community together. And I think you have over 6,000 volunteers, I read all over there, which is
all over the US, and then plus our India volunteers. So absolutely.
That is amazing.
And I think that's the differentiator of Ekal. That is, even though we talk about this $1 supporting the school, it is leveraged with thousands of hours of other volunteers right from the village level to, Kavita ji's level. It doesn't matter where it is, your level. Everybody who has come together, their time is what is making it work. And so I really think like Ekal is like an operating system. We know how to go into the village, we have access there. And when wonderful people like Kavita ji and others come with new ideas like this, we can only believe it's the beautiful apps that are going to transform the village. So we're really pleased with the volunteer efforts and the time that great, compassionate people like Kavita ji give us.
And we hope to spread that awareness at this event. So more people come forward to help, the good causes.
Right. So what is the actual event? You mentioned it's on September 28th at Hopkinton Middle School. I think it starts at 4 o'clock.
Right.
And so what is the actual event going to be like? What are some of the programs? What can people expect that day?
Right. So we are trying to have families come to this event, from children to seniors. Everybody comes to this event. So we have a free medical clinic going on.
Music to my ears too.
Of course, we have for the children, we have activities like face painting and, some shows for them. We have singing, dancing.
It's a good cultural
event. So we want all families to come and, be aware of Ekal's efforts. And, we are going to be sharing our vision with them too. And
good.
So come. And
and I would say it's a very high quality cultural program, right? And that you've been very fussy about.
Right.
So really look forward to the very great dances and music.
I have when Kavita, I have to say, once she was in the top 20 women of the year, and she said her secret talent that nobody knows is event planning.
No wonder Sankalp is so beautifully turning out.
The name itself is so beautiful. Just
thank you.
And are you open for sponsorships as well?
Yes, we are. We are. Our flyer will explain that.
So we'll share that.
Right.
Okay.
I also want to share that Sankalp was formed with individuals who think alike, that have the same vision to empower India, to empower the villages. Right.
So Ekal has, of course, the work that you do is very rewarding, but of course Ekal has received some of the best awards. They also received the Gandhi Peace Prize, which is the highest award given by the Indian government. So what is the secret of Ekal's success?
Beautiful question. I think it's a few things. First of all, the model is a very well thought out, simple model which uses a strong core but allows for localization. India is a very diverse country, and so we are always proud to say that we have more franchises than McDonald's. And you know how hard it is to franchise, and yet we have figured out that secret sauce. And so that is number one. And what is that secret sauce? It is the fact that we know how to go into a village. Our founders like Shyamji Gupta know how to motivate the villagers, how to talk to them at their level, and really build a credible presence. So now once you do that, we always say the school is our foot in the door. Now once you do that, because it's really hard to go into a village and do good. It's not at all easy to do that. And once you go there and they know that you are really there for them, right? And then we can start talking about other things, show them opportunities. And farming, most of our villagers, what they do is farming, and we work with their lifestyle. So, for example, our schools run in the afternoon.
Was amazing. From 2 o'clock onwards, I saw that.
Or whenever it's convenient to the village, because there are two important things. We bring the school to the village.
Absolutely.
So that the girls don't have to walk 5 kilometers to go to a school. So we bring that school, and the teacher is a local person who is motivated to be a change agent. And once they are, then if we want, and in fact we've been doing a lot to encourage them with better farming techniques. Now if we bring cold storage, you have more produce, you bring things like this, we're able to do that. We now have that base and we can add things to that. And I think the Peace Award particularly is very significant, because once the villagers can attain their potential, there naturally will be peace. There is no negative energy.
Absolutely.
Why does terrorism happen? Because people in these villages are not open. So that's why we're very honored, and I really believe that the volunteers are in the village to every level is very deserving.
And also I was reading that just even
kids who have gone to 10th grade, they come back and teach. Then you have
Yes.
other skills like tailoring,
Yes.
you're teaching girls about
Right.
hygiene and all those things. Your overall entire spectrum of life you're improving.
Exactly. It's hard to do one thing in a village. You cannot go and say, just fix this, right? A village is a holistic place. And
Right.
so we are very, very, and I think understanding that is very, very key to what we are doing.
Shivas, and what about, I know Sankalp is your first event that
Right.
you're doing.
Right.
What do you want to do in future? Is it first of many or?
So, like I said, education
Right.
is important. But with education, you have to sustain your life. You have to have the resources and the money to be able to, keep going forward and supporting your family. So our mission is to make this possible for the farmers. And to make it possible, we're going to take Ranjani ji's help because they have the infrastructure in India. So they will help us with the implementation and training of these machines that we will be providing to the farmers so that they can, achieve their goals in farming.
Takes a village.
Right. Our goal is that by the end of 2020 to have sponsored a village.
Wow, very nice.
Implemented and trained a village.
Beautiful.
Your mouth to God's
Right.
ears. So
Right.
that is
Yes,
wonderful. I think it's
exactly.
also when your vision is big and your intentions are pure and you work hard.
Right.
I think you have that magic formula there. And I was reading that Ekal, when it was founded, it was founded by Rakesh and Rama Popli, right?
Yes.
In a small village in Jharkhand called Gumla, was it?
Exactly.
1986, with
Right.
one school, one teacher, and now 100,000.
Exactly.
So we'll
You are
adopt
on
one
right
village and
And
we'll
then
go on from
100,000,
there.
exactly.
Right.
And Dr. Rakesh Popli went back from America and made the difference. So,
his wife was also in
yeah,
children's education.
she is an amazing woman. I've met her.
Right. That is. So I think a lot of people are going to get inspired today. A lot more villages will be adopted.
Yeah, the $1 a day can go a long way, as we can say. So,
thank you so much. We wish you all the best with your event.
Thank
And
you.
of course, may Ekal grow from strength to strength.
yeah, and ekal.org, right? Come and see us.
That's right. And we'll see you all on September 28th.
28th at Hopkinton Middle School.
So thank you. Thank you.